Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg Podcast. I'm Rose, and I'm a content creator going by the handle Cheap Lazy Vegan, and I also own a vegan cafe by the same name as the podcast, which is SaVeg Cafe.
And I'm Daniel, also a vegan and one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends currently living in different countries, and we'll be giving our savage take on all things life, veganism, and the latest trending topics.
So basically, whatever comes to our minds, because we love to talk.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
Hello and welcome to our very first episode of the SaVeg Podcast. We're super excited to be launching this project. So we thought as kind of a lead up to this podcast, we'd kind of introduce ourselves and kind of a little bit about the podcast and what we're kind of looking to achieve. So we're calling this episode 1, the SaVeg intro. What do you think?
Are we going to be savage? In this intro?
I think you might be.
What would you describe as savage? Like, how would you describe the term?
It's like savage is like when you say something that's like it can be quite aggressive, I think.
Raw.
Maybe. Is that like a bit savage? Yeah. And it's a bit kind of like it cuts someone deep when you're savage with them. You know what I mean?
It's a little wild,
yes.
Perhaps.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I mean, we can be, savage.
I think we definitely can.
I mean, that's the purpose, right, of this podcast.
Exactly. And I think it gives us an opportunity to kind of look at what's going on in latest news, kind of give our comments and
we actually don't know what we're doing. Just putting this out there for everyone listening. We are very much just kind of going with this.
Yeah. We're newbies, so go easy on us. But again, I speak for myself, but I think you feel the same, Rose. We're super excited to kind of try this out, see where it goes.
So excited.
Yeah. So it should be fun. So let's get started.
Oh my God. Okay. So basically the first episode is going to be, I feel like every episode is going to be quite casual to some degree because we don't want to make it super formal. That's not fun.
And also, that's not really us, right?
Exactly.
Neither of us are really super formal. So
yeah. And the whole point of this is to just chat, basically.
Exactly.
It's kind of like you're kind of listening in our private conversations. That's kind of how I envision it.
Yeah, it's kind of like you guys as our listeners are joining us and just we're having a conversation together,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good time. And so today we're just going to chat about us. We're going to talk a lot about ourselves and give you a little background of who we are in case you don't know. And we can talk about how we met and all of that stuff. Because I know you love telling that story, Dan.
Oh, God, I do. It's such a good story, though, Rose. I mean, come on. I think how many times have I said it now, even on your YouTube channel? Probably 7.
Oh, my God. We've talked about it. I think every time that you've been on my channel, we always talk about that story about how we met.
Yeah. It's because everyone always asks, though. They're always like, oh, you guys,
Yeah, everyone's curious.
Yeah, true. Should we, so do you want to get started about a little bit of background into you and then, yeah.
And then we can move on from there. Okay. Yeah. So, I'm Rose. Hello. I feel like a lot of you listening probably, came from my YouTube channel or my Instagram or something, but, I am basically a full-time content creator. I don't like the term influencer.
Yeah.
But I'm a content creator, usually on YouTube, mostly on YouTube and also on Instagram. I do vegan food and I guess lifestyle recipes, things like that.
Yeah.
And I go by Cheap Lazy Vegan, as mentioned in the intro. And I also have a vegan cafe that I co-own with my mother, which is called SaVeg Cafe. And that's kind of how we got the name of this podcast. And it's in Calgary, which is in Canada, which is where Daniel and I met as well.
Yeah. And I definitely recommend.
I don't know how far. Sorry, you continue.
I was going to say I definitely recommend, because I actually got to the pleasure of tasting some of the food from your cafe last time I was in Calgary. And to any of the listeners that are ever planning to go to Calgary, or if you're from Calgary, I highly, highly, highly recommend checking out the cafe.
Thank you, Daniel. I paid him to say that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. How far are we going back? So basically, I was born in South Korea and I moved to Calgary when I was 8. And I pretty much lived mostly in Calgary for most of my life, but I did live in Italy for 6 months when I was in university as part of an exchange program. And I also lived in Milan not Milan. I just said Italy.
Yeah.
Jeez. See, I'm great at this. So I lived in Italy and I lived in Milan, you guys.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Oh, gosh.
Really, really just nailing this podcasting thing. Just nailing it.
Killing it.
No, so I lived in Milan, Italy for 6 months. And I also lived in Singapore for 4 months when I was in university. And most recently, I guess, I was living in London, UK. And that's where Daniel and I also lived together. Oh my God, our story is very long. Okay, I'm going to let you talk and then we can put together.
God damn, there's so many pieces. Okay, well,
there's so many pieces.
I'll try to keep mine brief and fast.
You don't have to. We have all the time in the world.
That's true. You guys are joining us on this journey. You know, we got all day. So I was born in England, in York, and then moved to Canada when I was quite little. So, and then pretty much same as Rose, kind of like lived in Calgary for majority of my life. I did do like a couple I wouldn't consider it living outside of Canada, but like backpacking trips. So I did a couple of those where I was gone for like 6 months at a time, kind of living out of a backpack. So my first one, I went through like Central and South America, which was pretty cool. And then the second one, I kind of went all over the place. I went to like Asia, a little bit of Southeast Asia, Australia, and then actually met up with you in London.
This is before either of us moved to London.
Yeah, so this was like back
This was like my first time.
Yeah, was that your first time in London when I met up with you?
Yeah, that was my first time in the UK.
God.
Yeah,
amazing.
I know.
And Rosie,
I just scratched my armpit on camera. That was great.
Nice.
I just realized I forgot that I'm recording this on video.
Yeah.
And then I just like scratched my armpit.
Nice.
Like I'm like sweating.
Okay.
Armpit sweat.
Do you have those lights?
It doesn't smell though. Did you know? Fun fact. A lot of South Koreans don't have BO.
Really? Is this something that you're
it's like
making
a thing.
up?
There's
or
like
is
a
it
gene.
What?
No, totally. I don't use deodorant. Do you not know this?
Oh my God. No, I didn't actually know this.
Actually, I'm going to send you a video later. I swear there's some kind of gene that makes, not all, but a lot of, I don't know if it's just Koreans, but it could just be East Asians.
Yeah.
We don't have BO.
Oh God. Well,
It's actually, it's funny because in Korea, apparently deodorant is very hard to find and it's very expensive.
Okay. But it's kind of handy.
Anyways, that was a tangent.
That was a tangent.
Continue, Dan. I'm sorry. I'm interrupting you.
It's all good. It's all good. Like you said, we have all day. Well, not all day, but so where was I? Yeah, so met up with Rose in London, and this was Rose's first time in London, where you fell in love with the country and, you know, wanted to come.
Did I?
I think you did, because you wanted to come back and meet your Hugh Grant, you know?
Oh my God. That was the whole
Do you remember?
I remember. That's so funny. And the crazy thing is, I'm not even that into like Hugh Grant, but that was just like our joke.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to meet my Hugh Grant.
Yeah. So that was a while ago, and then came back to Calgary after that trip. And then you moved to the UK. And then 4 months later, I moved to the UK. I think it was like 3 or 4 months. But I lived up north, like in Newcastle, and then moved to London after. And we lived in London for like, what? Was it almost a year? No, it was like 7 months, right?
What? So us living together in London? Yeah, it was about half a year, I think. Too short.
I was too short because it was so fun.
Those were the golden ages.
Oh, it was the golden time in London, you know, when I first moved there. Me, you, and Chrissy had that little floor all to ourselves.
And we lived with he who shall not be named.
Oh, God.
We had a bad roommate situation.
Oh, God. And it got worse after you left.
Yeah. So like when I was there, it was fine.
Well, he was.
But anyway, I mean, that's for another episode.
That is for another episode. So, so then I ended up staying in London after Rose moved back to Calgary, and I've been there since like for the last 5 years, and then decided I've had enough. And I was like, I want to move back to Canada. I miss Canada. And so as you do, I decided to come to Spain for a period of time as well before I come to Canada. So now I'm currently,
which I think is awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's exciting. Like, I've only been
here. Tell the I can't say viewers.
Listeners.
Tell the listeners, Dan, why you're in Spain right now and what, like, you don't have to talk about the name of the program, but like what you're doing there.
Yeah. So basically, it's like a government funded program that brings language assistance into schools all across Spain. And it's pretty cool because you work with the teachers. You're not the actual teacher. So you're just there to kind of support. And yeah, it's really fun. And the kids are freaking adorable. And I'm really loving it. And I think the thing is, I think doing this stuff is so important in life just because, life is really, really short. So I think you should take these chances or opportunities when they come and just kind of see what happens. So I'm happy I'm doing this before I come back to Calgary.
And I feel like you and I both have that kind of mentality, which is why we've lived and done like so many things. Yeah. Maybe you haven't done the exchange in university, but you again went backpacking for like months at a time.
Yeah.
And we also lived in the UK, just like random things. And I feel like that's the one thing we have in common is we love traveling, which I think we're going to do some episodes on traveling, talking about traveling and stuff. But also, we're all about, I don't know, we're only on this earth once. YOLO.
Exactly. Well, exactly. No, but this is it. Like the last thing that
did we invent YOLO? I'm just kidding. Okay, Dan. So what else about you do the viewers need to know? Oh, what were you doing before Spain, Dan? What's your career?
So I worked in finance. I mean, it's not that exciting. So I was like on the sales and business development team for an investment firm in the UK. And what else did I do? I worked at HSBC for a bit. That was all right.
Yeah. So both of us went to business school. Mm-hmm. That's where we met. So we can talk about that, Dan.
Those fateful years ago, Rose.
Oh my gosh. So Daniel and I met in university and we met at in stats class.
That's right.
Statistics 317, was it? Or
I think it was it? I think it was like 213. But anyway, it was a stats class. Yeah.
It was the intro to stats.
Yeah.
And I remember walking in, seeing a very handsome face. This boy with spiked hair with frosted tips.
Oh my God, I forgot about those
Backstreet Boys
tips.
style. I really want to find a photo now. And he was very handsome. And I think I was sitting near you because we had a mutual friend. Did we not, Dan?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
And we had a mutual friend and you turn around or something and then you ask me a question.
Yeah.
And immediately, as soon as you started talking, what do I say, Dan?
You said, as soon as I started talking, you knew I was gay because rainbows fell out of my mouth. Oh, gosh.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but I was heartbroken for 3 seconds. But then we became really good friends.
It's true. Because I think that week, I think it might have been that week or even the week after. It was very quickly after we met. We're like, let's go to the Den for Thursdays. And which is basically our university bar.
We clicked. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thursday. Okay. So the Den was the bar at our university. And on Thursdays, they would have these
Yeah,
ridiculous specials.
they were crazy.
So you could get
specials.
a triple for $7.
It was insane. I just remember
it was disgusting.
It was pretty because everyone just got so drunk, right? And it was all university students. So I think that it just says it all right there. Yeah. But we bonded.
I'm surprised they allowed it to happen. We bonded over Thursday.
Yeah, we sure did. And then the rest is history. And
being nerds.
Yeah.
We're really nerdy, actually, guys. We also, another thing we have in common, I feel like we're quite nerdy, but also we like to party.
Yeah, that's true. It's
or at least we did. Maybe now I'm old and a grandma, but still.
Yeah. We definitely, but I think looking back at our uni days and stuff and even life, I think we we got the full uni experience because yes, okay, we would get like really nerdy when it came to an exam or whatever, but then we would still go out. So might write the exam, finish the exam, and then go party. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
So we still got to like enjoy being at university.
But we were nerds and it was great. But we did well. We did well in school.
Exactly. We got good marks, you know?
Exactly. It's all about, it's the work hard, play hard mentality.
Exactly. So I think we definitely got a good experience. That's for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, we bonded over studying stats and going partying. And I honestly do think that if you were straight, we wouldn't have become friends.
Yeah. You know, the thing is though, it's funny that you say that because like I feel like if I would, because the thing is, okay, what am I trying to say? Basically, if I was straight, I would be a different person, right? You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be necessarily who I am. Because, you know, obviously your sexual orientation is a part of you and it kind of does impact certain aspects of your life. And I might not have been as like, cause right now I have really good relationships with women, but maybe if I was straight, who knows, maybe I wouldn't, or I would be more of like a player or
a fuck boy.
Exactly. And I feel like I might have been. We can
swear. By the way, we're going to swear in this podcast.
Oh, God damn. Well, mostly it will be you.
Oh, God damn.
Yeah.
It's mostly going to be me. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Because I swear sometimes, but I just don't swear that often, to be honest. But I'll still.
That is true. Daniel's actually very a nice and gentle soul, and I'm just the bitch.
You're like, fuck this, fuck that. I'm like, Rose, it's okay. Calm down. This is fucking ridiculous.
I swear, when Daniel's on my channel, people think I bully him. Some people are like, "You're so mean to Dan."
I know. One of my favorite videos was like the one where we were making curry in my house. Do you remember? And I just bother you the whole time. I'm like trying to make this curry and like literally.
I'm like, Dan, why are you doing it like that?
Yeah. And the whole time. And then I remember I just got so fed up. At one point I was like, just make your own curry. Oh, that was funny.
Oh my God. And then somebody commented and was like, Rose, be nice to Dan. My viewers, I swear they love you more.
No.
It's so cute. Anytime you're on my channel, someone comments and says, I need a Daniel in my life.
I know.
And it's true.
I saw that. I was like, oh, but I think one of the things I love with your channel, like anytime that I'm on it, is like, I really like the feedback that we get as friends. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are like, oh, you guys have such like nice chemistry. And like, you can tell that you guys really care about each other.
We do.
Yeah. Which is like, oh, that's so sweet.
Aw, yeah, somebody commented that in the most recent video. Did you watch it, Dan?
I watched part of it. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but I will.
Oh, so yeah, that's another reason why we wanted to start this podcast because we just have a very good dynamic and we also love talking.
We do.
That's another thing we have in common.
Yeah,
like sometimes it's hard to get a word in with Dan and I'm sure he feels the same with me.
It's true.
Like a very... If you can tell, we're just fighting for space on this mic.
I think that is definitely gonna be like an ongoing theme in this podcast. It's like us like trying to like say something and the other person just being like interjecting, but it's all good. It's all good.
But it's kind of nice because usually we film like a mukbang together, and mukbang, if you guys don't know, is an eating show.
Yeah.
And when we film a mukbang, Daniel does most of the talking and I do most of the eating because I love to eat. And I think I love to eat more than I love to talk, and Daniel loves to talk more than he loves to eat.
This is very
so. Usually,
accurate.
I'm just shoving food in my face.
Yeah,
and Dan's just talking. But it's kind of nice to be able to have a two-way conversation.
It's so, and that's another thing everyone like comments about as well. Though they're like, Rose just ate the entire time, and Daniel just talked.
And people are like, "Oh my God, how is Rose eating more than Daniel?"
And it's like because she's not talking.
Yes, and I just eat a lot. Like I'm just very good at eating.
Yeah. You have a healthy appetite.
Anyways, I have a what?
A healthy appetite.
I have a very healthy appetite. And I've always been like that.
Yeah.
What can I say?
So yeah.
And so do you, Dan.
I do. I'm a growing boy.
Sideways.
Sideways, yeah, as I like to say.
I'm just joking, guys. That's a joke that Daniel makes usually. I just said it. I'm not fat shaming him.
Yeah,
okay, just putting that out there.
Just throwing out those vibes,
Yeah. We always make these kind of jokes.
Yeah.
Usually not on camera.
That's true, actually.
And usually not for the world to hear. So
that's true. And now we're putting it out there. We're putting this part of us out there, Rose. Are you ready?
I know. It's very vulnerable.
Yeah. Like it just feels a bit raw.
It is very raw.
Oh, God damn. Oh, God damn.
It's literally, okay, the thing is, we've been having conversations leading up to this first episode, obviously.
Yeah.
And it just feels like any other one of those conversations right now.
That's very true.
Where we're just talking.
Yeah. Which we're both, again,
there's no direction.
I know. It's a little bit all over the place, but you know what? That's
us. Part of it.
Exactly. That's part of the rawness and the vulnerability we're showing you guys, you know?
It's part of the SaVeg experience.
I love that. So good. So good.
Okay, so should we discuss kind of what we're going to do? Because we don't actually even know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think basically the whole format and, again, thanks for joining us on this podcast and listening to us go on and talk about all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I think the main format is going to be kind of, a little bit of intro as to how our week's been. Because we're going to do this about every 2 weeks. So a little kind of catch up.
Yes.
Yeah. A little catch up on what's going on in our lives. Just a brief one. And then kind of getting into like a trending topic or something that's going on in the media. Like today, I think we're going to briefly touch on the Game Changers. So I think we kind of talked...
The movie.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah. So, and then we're going to finish with a kind of a tip for those of you that are vegan or even considering going vegan or want to, reduce your meat intake. We're going to have like a little tip at the end of the podcast to kind of take away.
Yeah, because, I am a professional vegan, so I have to add in a little vegan nugget in here, just a little vegan nugget. Should we call it the vegan nugget?
Oh, I like that, actually.
I feel like I'm stealing that from someone. I'm pretty sure it comes from somewhere else.
Yeah, but I mean...
But,
Is it copyright written?
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
People use the word nugget, right? Nugget's like a little...
Yeah, it's a noun, but it's also a verb or an adjective. Sorry,
I don't know. I don't really know.
No, me neither. I'm talking I'm talking BS right now. I'm just like,
Oh God, are we gonna make ourselves look stupid?
No, impossible. We already told everyone that we got good grades in university.
We've already told them that we're really smart. Okay, so you're gonna have to believe us.
Oh, goddamn.
Oh my God, I'm just going to be laughing the whole time.
I know, this is bad. No, it's not bad, but all right.
So, okay, I just want to plug in. So we do have an Instagram account where we will be posting. We also, for those of you that are interested, we will also be on Patreon.
Oh, that's right,
so that way you can support us, but you're also going to get episodes earlier than everyone else.
Yeah.
And... Whoa, that "and" sounded not good.
No.
And you're also going to get some exclusive content, such as
like a Q&A session. So maybe you guys can submit some questions to us, and then we'll kind of do a personalized recording of the two of us, kind of going through some of your burning questions or topics and things like that. So kind of really making the experience exclusive for our listeners.
Our Patreon supporters.
Our Patreon.
But of course, even if you don't support us on Patreon, you can find us on the other platforms that people listen to podcasts on.
Exactly.
Such as what?
Such as iTunes, Spotify, and there's a couple others, which I think Google Play, maybe there's some podcasts on there, and a few other platforms. So basically wherever you listen to podcasts, we'll be on there.
Yeah, so you can still listen even if you don't want to give us money, which is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn.
God damn. So shall we briefly talk a little bit about Game Changers?
Okay, so basically this week is kind of a little bit more of, a casual chat.
Yeah.
So we're going to just kind of roll with whatever comes to our minds. But I'm hoping that each week we're going to have a bit of a different topic or some kind of maybe a trending story that we want to discuss or whatever. Again, we don't really know. And that's the beauty of this whole thing.
Exactly.
Okay, so the Game Changers It's the new documentary out. It is now out on Netflix, which is very exciting. And it's basically a plant-based diet documentary centered around the plant-based diet in an athletic situation.
Yeah, or an
Can
athletic.
you talk? Because I can't.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Rose. It's interesting because it's looking at plant-based diet kind of down the lens of an athlete. And not just lean athletes. We're talking bodybuilders. We're talking, sprinters, weightlifters, all of sort of a wide variety of people in different athletic fields, I guess. And I don't know about you, but from my perspective, I think that it was actually quite powerful because this is the first time, because a lot of the other vegan documentaries, or plant-based diet documentaries, they really focus on, and there's still important issues, don't get me wrong, the ethical side of it, the environmental impact, which was kind of discussed in the Game Changers as well. But this is really focusing on the person and actually impacting people's health. So I think in that aspect, I think it's been pretty powerful. I don't know about you, but I've actually had a few of my friends reach out to me. One of my friends who has a family and everything, her and her family are going plant-based for the month of November. Yeah, and again, she said, she's not sure if she's going to continue doing this, but they're just trying it out because they were shocked at some of the, stuff that was being shown on this documentary as to, the impacts that meat does have on your body.
Right. And I think a lot of people, especially men, think that they need to eat meat to be
big and strong,
powerful, big, strong, manly,
masculine.
Even.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And I don't know where that comes from because it's not like you're hunting for your meat. You're pretty much getting it at the grocery store. It doesn't make you
a man.
And even if you're hunting, it doesn't make you manly. None of this makes you manly.
Exactly. Well, you know what a big part of it is, which I think is it's clever marketing. Do you know what I mean? A lot of this stuff where you see all the commercials and stuff, it's like, oh, you need to have a steak with dinner because you're a real man, or a, Angus grilled steak for the barbecue. And this has been going on for years, right? So I think it's just been really good marketing from the food and beverage industry, to be honest.
It's crazy.
It's like the whole milk campaign about it being strong for your bones or good for your bones and all that kind of stuff. Again, that's been going on before I was even born. So before you were around. So when you have that kind of consistent message in society, I can't remember what class it was, sociology or something, that people start to believe that that's the truth.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's like propaganda.
Exactly.
Straight up.
And it's crazy. One of the things frustrates me, because I get the whole idea about this freedom of speech and everything, but it frustrates me when for example, in the Game Changers documentary, again, they were talking about how, the Cattle Association in America or whatever is also releasing all of these kind of falsified studies almost that kind of combat what people are saying. So they're getting industry experts and dietitians to go on in front of, newscasters and stuff and say, eating meat's fine. It doesn't, there's not a strict causal link. So they're confusing the general public, where it's
I know, it's messed up.
Yeah. And none of it seems to be founded on actual science or studies, because I think when that's done in an unbiased way, the plant-based diet is going to continually come out on top. So
exactly.
There's no kind of argument.
Yeah. It's tough, but it's a step, and I want everyone to go and see it.
Yeah.
If you have Netflix, it should be out in all countries.
I think so.
If you have a Netflix account.
Well, I know it's here in Spain. I also know it was in the UK, it got released, and obviously in Canada, probably the States as well. So a lot of places will probably have it. And yeah, it's a really worthwhile watch, even if you aren't vegan, but just to kind of, learn about what the plant-based lifestyle is all about and kind of some of the impacts on your health in kind of a positive way.
And just to reiterate, just because you follow a plant-based lifestyle doesn't mean it's healthy.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just want to put that out there, because you could be eating,
potatoes,
fries. Yeah.
Well,
you could be eating
fries all the time,
really
and
bad
chips
food.
and things
Some
like
candies are vegan. Exactly. So just because you follow something plant-based doesn't mean it's going to be healthy. But when we talk about whole foods, but when it comes to whole foods plant-based diet, it usually is. How do I say this? Why can't I talk?
I don't know. I mean,
when it comes to whole foods plant-based diet, that's when it becomes a healthier diet for a lot of people.
But I think to be honest, I mean, that's a very valid point. But I think, again, that's with most diets. If you're just extreme eating one thing, like, I mean, oh my God, I can't talk either today, apparently.
Oh my God, have we been talking for too long?
No, I think it's, I know why I can't talk, because I'm a little, not like hungover, but like a little bit, you know.
I am also a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, both of us are also alcoholics. Just putting that out there.
we bond over alcohol. But no, I was going to say, like, anytime that a diet's concentrated in like, junk food and stuff like that, it's going to be an unhealthy,
yeah, totally.
thing. It's like when we met a certain, he who should not be named as well, but a certain person that showed up to a meetup thing at the park, just eating like spaghetti noodles and potatoes, I think it was. And I was like, I remember looking over there and being like, what are you eating? And like, where's the sauce? Like, what is
There was
that?
no sauce.
It was dry. Like, it was like, you know how dry a potato is, right? Like,
yeah.
And I was like, and then that person.
Oh God, makes me want to puke.
I know. And then they get sick. And
imagine eating just spaghetti noodles without any sauce or anything on it.
It's gross. Like, you wouldn't. Like, you have to have something with it.
I would eat it if I was starving and there was nothing else to eat.
Fair. But I think that's why there's like those people that do that. And then they're like, oh, I couldn't do a plant-based diet. It wasn't for me. I got so sick. And it's like, well, no shit, you got sick.
Oh, we're delving into that topic now.
I know.
Should we talk about the ex-vegan phenomenon?
Oh God. I think maybe we should save that for another episode. But what do you think?
I mean, I can briefly touch on it. Or should we save it for another episode? I think you're frozen again.
Oh God, the Skype nightmares. No,
okay,
we're back. Yeah, we're back in action. I mean,
okay, so the ex-vegans.
Yeah.
Should we discuss?
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. Okay, so it's obviously a challenge to go against what a lot of people in society are doing. So right now, like 99% of people are not vegan.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very big challenge, especially socially, to follow this lifestyle. So it takes a very strong-minded, and I don't want to call people weak-minded if they can't do it, but like it does take a very strong mind and a very strong, reason to do this.
Well, and I think so, to that point though, like,
sorry, continue.
I was going to say, like, what you're saying about being strong-minded and everything, it's a bit more than that. So I understand what you're saying. And it's like also people that, because there's people out there that maybe want to do it, but then they get easily intimidated and stuff as well, right? Where they're thinking, oh, I don't want to cause a problem. I don't want to, and then they kind of that fall back into kind of going into the mainstream and what everyone else is doing.
Exactly. And then I think also a lot of people that maybe, going back to eating animal products, they may have followed some sort of extreme version of a plant-based diet, which is why I say that just because a diet is plant-based doesn't make it healthy.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a cure-all. So I think people go into the plant-based lifestyle thinking this is going to fix everything. And then when it doesn't, they blame it on the fact that they aren't eating animals.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess that's one of the drawbacks of these types of health-focused documentaries is it's not a drawback, but sometimes I do worry that people watch it thinking, oh my gosh, I just have to stop eating animals and then I'm going to be healthy.
Yeah, and it will cure everything.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully people watch the movie, do more research, and find out more information.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do it wrong.
This is very true. And I mean, it's again, with any diet that or not diet, but like, that you're trying to follow, you need to research, you need to do your research, you need to, eat. And as especially like plant-based lifestyle, you need to make sure you're getting enough nutrients. And, you know, I would say that to anyone, you know, you need to make sure that you...
Not even especially plant-based, but any diet, right?
Yeah.
And are you supplementing, Daniel?
I sure am. I am supplementing.
What are you supplementing with, Dan? Let's tell our listeners.
I have a vitamin B12 supplement.
Yay!
I also do take like just a generic. I have a once a day multivitamin that I take. I just do that more. The B12, obviously, because, you know, a lot of people, both plant-based and people that are eating meat and stuff, a lot of people are low or deficient in B12. So I take that anyway. I've started taking that now. Thank you, Rose.
Oh yeah. Did I tell you to take it?
Yeah. Cause I wasn't taking it for a long time. And then you were like,
yeah. And I was like, Daniel, you're going to die.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to die, but it can cause long-term problems if you are deficient long-term.
And then the multivitamin I just take just because I think like, I think overall I eat a pretty balanced diet, but I still take like a multivitamin once a day as well, along with the B12, just in case I'm like maybe a little bit low that day on vitamin C or something else. I just make sure that I'm getting those nutrients.
Yeah, me too, actually. I've been taking a multivitamin that contains like B12 and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah.
But overall, I think both of us follow a pretty healthy and varied diet, which I think is also important. Eating lots of different things.
True. I mean, I think you're definitely more varied than me. I do tend to like my curries and stir fries.
Are you still on the curry train?
Oh, I love curry, honestly.
Curries are great.
Oh, they're just so delicious. And they're even better the next day. Like,
so good.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
You absolutely love it.
I do.
Should we tell our listeners about our disorder?
Our accent disorder.
Our random accent disorder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're joining us for episode 1, thank you. And just as a heads up, you will be experiencing a variety of different accents throughout our podcast. They could come.
I can't promise that they'll be good.
I know. I mean, we try,
Should we do a few?
Oh, gosh.
What's your favorite one, Dad?
My favorite one is, you know what? And it's, again, we're not making fun of this. We just love this accent because it sounds so nice.
We love accents.
Yeah.
Generally. We love accents. That's another thing we have in common.
Yeah.
We just love speaking in random accents because I think it's just so fun.
It is. It is fun. I love it. It's like, it's just, and the deep Southern United States accent is my favorite. I love it. It's so good.
Are we doing it right?
I don't know. I just don't.
So one time we was on the train.
Mm-hmm.
It was what the British call the tube. And then that's when we just randomly, for no reason at all, started talking in this accent.
Yeah.
And then we never stopped.
Oh my God. And it was when we were living together, it got pretty bad. Like, I think there was like days where we didn't speak ever normally.
We had full conversations in this accent.
I know. But not even like a little, like it would be like we'd be talking about our day and what was going on in this accent. Like people on the train were probably like, what the hell?
We're from Louisiana. Oh, that was not a good one. No.
Yeah. I think
do your accent, Dan. Come on.
Which accent? The Geordie?
No, not the Geordie.
That sounded Scottish.
I don't know how to do this. Okay, so no, Daniel, because he lived in Newcastle for a little bit, he likes doing the Geordie accent, which is the Newcastle accent that no one understands. Yeah, so you go.
I haven't gotten, I think I've lost it though. Like, hang on, let me just try something. I'll be like, oh man, I'm so drunk. I'm absolutely craving a burrito.
A burrito. Oh, wait, say that again.
A burrito.
A burrito. I can't do it. If I do it, it sounds like an Indian accent. A burrito.
It sounds so weird. Like, Rose, I think that you should just not try that one.
God damn, Daniels, that'd be mean as hell.
That is mean. I'm being mean to you for a change. I gotta get my 2 cents out before I get physically and verbally attacked.
Oh my God, people are going to think that I am literally abusing you.
They're going to be like, oh my God, Daniel's in an abusive friendship with his friend Rose.
Oh my God, you are in an abusive friendship.
And he's too scared to leave. He's too scared to leave because he's scared of what Rose will do to him.
You have Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh my God.
You fell in love with me.
Oh.
Or how does that work? What is Stockholm Syndrome?
It's like when you're like kidnapped or like captured by somebody, and it's like the whole Beauty and the Beast thing. Like, you know how the Beast was like holding her captive, and then she starts to fall in love. You start to fall in love with that person.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's a psychological, like, I don't know why.
Phenomenon.
Yeah. It's like,
because you just get attached to whoever you're with at that moment.
Exactly. So yeah. It's
oh my God. Can we talk about like Disney and how like kind of fucked up some of those stories are?
Oh my God.
Since we're talking about Beauty and the Beast.
That's true. I mean, all of them.
Because sorry, continue.
No, I was going to say like a lot of them are like, there's some that I really like, but then there's a few where I'm like, oh my God. And yeah. They're like the beauty, like Beauty and the Beast is a perfect example. Like she ends up, you know, the person that kidnapped her and like had like kidnapped her father and then kidnaps her and then she ends up marrying him. Like,
yeah,
it's a bit weird.
A little bit of an abusive relationship, perhaps.
Just a little bit, you know,
a little toxic. I was actually watching Little Mermaid a few years ago, and I realized Little Mermaid is the worst possible storyline
oh my God.
to tell to little girls. And like, it's messed up. Okay, so basically this young girl is rebellious and goes against her father's wishes and kind of like escapes into this other land.
Yeah.
And she literally just sees a man who is good looking and is like, I'm going to give up my entire life, abandon my family.
Just for that man.
And go... just for the man.
Yeah.
And also she like loses her ability to speak or something.
Yeah, because the evil witch takes her voice, right?
Right. So she's like, I'm just going to like give up my voice to be with this man that I've never met. Yeah. Because I saw his face and he was hot.
Because like in real life, you would just never do that. Do you know what I mean? Like who would like, okay, I'm going to like leave my everything for this guy who you don't, because even if someone's good looking, their personality might be shit, you know? Like, exactly.
And you like, why? No, this is the worst story ever. You should not be telling this to little kids.
I agree. I think the part of me is like nostalgic about I know it's a bad story.
Of course.
But like the songs and stuff, I'm just like, it's from my childhood.
It is good.
Yeah.
The songs are good. And like, you know, it is from our childhood. But if you actually watch it from an adult lens without those kind of nostalgic feelings, it's messed up, man.
I know. And it's like a lot of the songs from that era though, too, from the 90s. A lot of like the pop songs and stuff are so dirty. And like, do you think like...
Are you talking about Spice Girls?
Well, I'm talking about a lot. Like not just Spice Girls, like everyone. Like... There were so many songs where you'd be like running around your room when you're like 5 or 6 years old.
You can't think of examples?
I can think of them. There was one song, it was like, if you go down on me, then I'll go down on you. Something like this. And I was like, I can't remember who sung it, but I just remember that song.
I remember that song though.
Yeah.
If you get down on me, I'll get down on you. Or was it like that?
Something like this. Yeah. Like there's just some like, I don't know. Or like, what was another one? You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals. So let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
That song was not meant for kids though, was it?
I guess not, no. But I mean, it was pop
music.
But
I do remember that song.
Yeah. So
it's so funny.
It was just like an interesting era, I guess, of like stuff, like movies,
I think
songs.
It was less filtered, I think, than now.
Yeah.
And now, if those kind of songs came out, I think there would be an outrage.
Do you think so? I don't know, though. I mean,
I don't know. Like, think about Spice Girls. Like, they were so popular and amongst little kids. Like, I was really into Spice Girls and I was like 10 or 9.
Yeah.
And their songs were like, what was the song that was like, to become one? And it's like literally
love like
dirty.
I never needed love before. Wanna make love to you, baby.
Oh my God. That was the best rendition.
Hopefully this mic makes my terrible singing voice sound a little bit on key, but probably not.
To become one. Actually, that's like, yeah.
Beautiful, Rose.
Thank you. Should we just turn this into a dirty karaoke?
Oh God, we could. What What was I going to say now? I totally lost my train of thought. We are for our first episode, we are a little bit,
we're off on a tangent.
All over the place.
We are all over the place and I love it.
I know.
I'm living for this.
Me too.
I mean, we talked about dirty songs, Disney being inappropriate. But you know what I do like? There's a good Disney movie that I love, which is Mulan.
Oh my God, I love Mulan.
Mulan is great.
I also really liked it.
I think Mulan has a good message.
Yeah. But I also think during that Disney time as well, it was like, there might be another movie like that, but like Mulan was like a strong woman. Do you know what I mean? Like she was like, you know, and when people told her, like, especially men were like, know your place, don't do this, blah, 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 blah. She was like, well, you know what? This doesn't make sense. Like, I'm going to do it. Like, and yeah, I think it was just like really powerful, like, especially for like young girls and stuff. I think there needs to be more of that.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was like one of the first Disney movies that did that, I think.
Yeah, because if you think about
so that was nice.
All the other ones, like so many of the Disney stories in the past were focused on like a man or a prince coming to rescue, you know, somebody, or, you know, the girl was at the whim of the, you know, the guy, basically. Little Mermaid's an example. Sleeping Beauty has to get saved. All of these people, Snow White,
just need to get saved.
Exactly. They're damsels in distress, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, there's a place for those kind of stories, of course. But yeah, it was definitely overrepresented.
Yeah, I think
we needed more Mulans.
We needed way more Mulans.
Yes, and less Little Mermaids.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Little Mermaid fans are going to come after me.
Oh God. They'll be like,
but like you have to admit that story is messed up.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way around it. I think I'm just always going to be nostalgic for that film because it was my childhood.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And some of the songs are like, they're just so, because I again, grew up listening to them. So
look at this stuff.
Oh, isn't it neat?
Wouldn't you say my collection's complete?
Wouldn't you say I'm the girl who has everything? Oh God. Let's not turn this into a karaoke.
Not to be mean to you, but you do not have the Little Mermaid voice.
Oh my God, I know. That's because I'm the Little Merman.
We're so lame.
I know.
People are going to realize how lame we are.
They're going to be like, oh God.
We have literally just turned this into a karaoke, so that's great.
I know. Fantastic.
What else do we need to talk about? I
think that we need to do our like little vegan tips of the day?
I feel like we already gave some.
That's true.
But yeah, let's give some more vegan tips. Okay. So like, do you have something written down? Because I don't.
I definitely don't. so
we're very prepared for this podcast.
But I think like the main one that I was going to bring up is around the supplements. So like, I just think taking a B12 is so important. As someone that didn't take it in the past and is taking it now, I'm like, you know, I know people say this all the time, but you do notice a difference. Like it's, you know. Yeah. Do
you notice a difference?
I think so. Like I just feel, I don't know how to describe it, but I've noticed since taking the supplements that I do feel, it's hard to explain, but just like better, I guess. Like more kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More energy?
Yeah, I would say I have more energy. Definitely.
Interesting. I don't want to see you with more energy. You already have enough energy for two people.
I know. Well, after these B12s, I'd be crazy as hell.
Yeah, so that's a good one, you know, like, just a fun fact about B12, in case you don't know, it actually doesn't come from animals. It's not just made by animals, but it actually comes from bacteria in soil.
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah, this was on Game Changers.
Naturally, we used to be able to get our B12 from drinking from streams and things like that. But now, because of modern agriculture, all of that is kind of destroyed and everything is kind of sterilized. So it's very hard for us to get B12 naturally, which is why we supplement. And even animals, a lot of times, are also supplemented with B12.
Yeah.
Because they also don't get the quality like bacteria from the natural sources.
Yeah. Which is interesting. I mean, it's an interesting point. And I think, it's just important. So take your B12s, folks.
Yes. And also I think it's important for people to get a blood test. So there's my tip So, make sure you supplement.
Yeah.
And maybe after a year of being vegan or something, you could get a blood test and just make sure that your levels are good.
Yeah.
I am speaking as someone that did not live that life.
Yeah.
So do as I say and not as I do.
Yes.
I only
Perfect.
recently got a blood test.
Really? I have to get one. I had one a little, like not maybe like a couple years ago, but I should do another one.
But you were fine, right?
Yeah, I didn't have any deficiencies that were notable, which is good.
That's good.
Yeah. So I should get another.
And I recently got one done and I filmed a video
Oh, did you?
discussing my results.
Oh.
But it hasn't been published yet, so I will put that on my YouTube channel once it's ready.
So go check out Cheap Lazy Vegan to get that exclusive blood test content.
I wonder if I am dying.
Oh God, you don't worry, you're not dying, Rose.
5 years of vegan.
5
Am
years.
I deficient in everything?
Ooh, find out. Exclusive.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, I think...
Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that concludes our very, very first episode of the SaVeg Podcast. And thank you so much for...
It was a mess.
Yeah, it was, well, just like us. But you know what? We'll get there. You know what? The thing is, we're learning and we're growing just like everyone every day. And we're going to continue to learn from this experience and grow and bring new content and get ideas potentially from you, from our listeners as well. And, just kind of take it from there, right?
Yeah, and maybe even have some guests at some point.
Ooh, that would be super
be
cool.
nice.
Yeah. And do like interviews and stuff.
That would be so fun.
I would love to do that. I think it would be like super, super cool. And
Yeah.
when I'm back in Calgary next year, we'll be able to record together, sitting next to each other.
That would be so fun.
I know. I'm hoping, that will become a very, very quick reality.
Yes, and the thing is, right now we have such technology going on. So we're recording this on Skype.
Yeah.
We have like the audio recording, we've got the video recording, and we have this both, on both ends because
Yeah.
you're recording your thing and my camera's recording me.
Yeah. So we literally
So hopefully we can simplify it.
I know. This needs some simplification because literally
Some simplification.
both of us have GarageBand going right now recording. Both of us have Skype and I'm recording it. And both of us have a phone or a camera. Like it's crazy. And microphones. We'd be technologied out.
Yes, even though we are not good at technology, so...
Oh, well, speak for yourself.
Excuse me.
I meant to say...
Are you saying you're good at technology?
No, not at all. I meant to say, like, you're much better than I am, but it came out completely wrong. So anyway.
That came out the opposite way.
I know.
You think I'm good at technology?
Oh, God damn. Yeah,
we're going to have
better than
issues.
I am, for sure. But yeah, thanks so... Yeah, oh my God. We already kind of had some in earlier, but it's fine. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at the SaVeg Podcast. Also, we'll have a YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel that will have kind of highlight reels. And again, that will be under the SaVeg Podcast. And as mentioned earlier in the podcast, feel free to check us out on Patreon as well. The SaVeg Podcast, and join our little community. And
Yeah, and we'll also have the full video episode available on Patreon as well. So if you are interested in that, you could definitely check that out. But like Daniel mentioned, we also have a YouTube channel where we will be posting highlights of some parts of the podcast.
Yeah. Exciting.
So exciting. Anyway, so that pretty much concludes our first messy episode of the SaVeg Podcast.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure, I don't know, are they allowed to comment on something? Like, I am so not a podcaster.
I'm not sure, but if you guys can, feel free to.
Oh, give us a little rating. I think you can rate us.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be so helpful if you gave us, a 5-star or whatever the rating system is. The highest star rating that you could possibly give. And that will help people find this podcast.
Exactly. And we'll be coming back at you in about 2 weeks with episode 2.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Guys.